Good evening, one and all.
Mhm.
Good evening, one and all. We welcome you all to the international webinar series on holistic health, well-being, and sustainable development 2025. Commemorate Azadi Ka Amrit Mahotsav, nation celebrating 77 years of independence, and United Nations Sustainable Development Goals 2015 to 2030, Viksit Bharat at 2047, and World Breastfeeding Week 2025 in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health in association with and in collaboration with Sri Holistic Health Foundation India and Sri Research Institute Center for Art, Sciences and Wellbeing and all the international and national regional collaborators. Before we start our session, let's take the blessings of Almighty.
कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शत्रुबुद्धिविनाशाय दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते दीपज्योतिर्नमोऽस्तु ते शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः शुभं कुरुत्वं कल्याणम् आरोग्यं धनसम्पदः
With the blessings of Almighty, we shall continue with today's commemorations and celebrations. Today, before taking up the topics on World Breastfeeding Week, let's complete the commemorations and then move into World Breastfeeding Week. Today, we are commemorating and celebrating Indigenous Peoples, or International Day of the World's Indigenous Peoples Day on 9th August every year. So this year, the theme for the year 2025 is Indigenous Peoples and AI, Defending Rights, Shaping Futures. And while AI can support cultural revitalization, youth empowerment, and even adaptation to climate change, It often reinforces bias, exclusion, and misinterpretation towards indigenous peoples. Most AI systems are built without indigenous input, risking the misuse of their data, knowledge, and identities. Besides, massive data centers can also impact indigenous lands, resources, and ecosystems. This is a new issue added to the barriers to accessing new technologies, especially in rural areas, excluding indigenous form full participation in AI-related process. To unlock AI's full potential, indigenous peoples must be respected as rights holders, co-creators, and decision makers. Meaningful inclusion, data sovereignty, and culturally grounded innovation are key to ensuring AI empowers their communities. The upcoming International Day of World's Indigenous Peoples, which was celebrated yesterday globally, will put a spotlight on this through its theme Indigenous Peoples and AI, defending rights and shaping futures. So we need indigenous communities for a better world. In Polynesia, indigenous led reef conservation projects are using AI to monitor coral health. In Intuit territories, AI models are being co-developed with indigenous wisdom to help communities adapt to climate change. In New Zealand, they are using an AI natural language processing tool to help revitalize the Maori language. So there are an estimated 476 million indigenous peoples in the world living across 90 countries. They make up less than 6% of the world's population, but account for at least 15% of the poorest. They speak an overwhelming majority of the world's estimated 7,000 languages and represent 5,000 different cultures. Indigenous peoples are inheritors and practitioners of unique cultures and ways of relating to people and the environment. They have retained social, cultural, economic, and political characteristics that are distinct from those of dominant societies in which they live. Despite their cultural differences, indigenous peoples from around the world share common problems related to the protection of their rights as distinct people. Indigenous peoples have sought recognition of their identities, their way of life, and their right to traditional lands, territories, and natural resources for years. Yet, throughout history, their rights have been violated. Indigenous peoples today are arguably among the most disadvantaged and vulnerable groups of people in the world. The international community now recognizes that special measures are required to protect their rights and maintain their distinct culture and the way of life. In order to raise awareness of the needs of these population groups, every 9th August commemorate the International Day of World's Indigenous Peoples, chosen in recognition of the first meeting of the UN Working Group on Indigenous Peoples held in Geneva in 1980. To enhance understanding of indigenous people's rights and learn how to advocate for them, the UN Human Rights Office e-learning tool includes material, real stories, case studies, UN actions, activities, quizzes, tools, and resources to help you out. Upon completion, you will receive a certificate. The course is open uh, and free upon registration and available in English, French, Russian, Spanish, and Chinese. Today is also commemorated as World Lion Day on August 10th every year. which aims to raise awareness about the plight faced by the lions, scientifically known as Panthera leo. Lions are one of the most well-known and popular animal species out there. They are called the kings of the jungle due to their arresting and fearsome personalities. Created by their great bodies and heavy shines manes. A lion's powerful roar is second to none, and it can be heard even 5 miles away. Owing to the pop culture icons like Simba from The Lion King, lions are also loved by children. However, while lions existed in large population 100 years ago, today their numbers are just below 50,000 worldwide as a result of poaching and hunting. World Lion Day therefore brings attention to this endangered species by raising funds and amping up protective measures. The first World Lion Day came into being in 2013. It was headed by Derek and Beverly Jobert, a couple who are passionate about preservation and wildcats after realizing that lion populations have drastically decreased worldwide. The Joberts approached National Geographic for grants help, forming a partnership with them. The couple came up with the Big Cat Initiative, BCI, in 2009. The BCI's main goal would be to protect and preserve the remaining lion species in the world, while aspects like deforestation, climate change, and human intervention may have impact populations. Studies have shown their extremely low numbers may have to do with ice ages and natural environment disasters that have led to them becoming secluded in only a few countries of the world, namely India and South Africa. To date, the BCA had made substantial leaps from getting 150 plus grant awards to reducing almost 3,000 threats to 3,000 wild cats to removing 13,000 life threatening snares. The lion comes from the Felidae family of cats and is considered to be an apex predator. It is the second largest cat, weighing around 300 to 600 pounds, with the first being its cousin, the tiger. An average lion's body is muscular with a short, round head and ears and a tufty tail. Its sex can be identified through its heavy and lustrous mane, which are absent on lioness. Lions also happen to be the only cats who roam around large groups known as prides. Scientists believe that lions do so because it is easier to catch prey in the wild. Their natural habitats are savannas and grasslands. You will most likely to find a pride of lions near water bodies as they strategically wait for prey to come there for a drink and then pounce on them. Carl Linnaeus, a Swedish zoologist and botanist, invents Felis leo as the scientific name of the lions in 1758. The lion is placed in the Red List of the International Union for Conservation of Nature due to its African population decreasing by 45% since 1990 in 1996. Derek and Beverly Jobert, in partnership with National Geographic, started the Big Cat Initiative to save lions in 2009. The first World Lion Day, the BCA announces, in order to include the world in lion preservation efforts, the first World Lion Day in 2013. World Lion Day is celebrated working to protect lions at all costs. You can reject lion products, donate to protection organizations, and promote them in your social circles. You can also use World Lion Day on your social media and change your display picture to that of a lion. So most lions live in Africa just below the Sahara Desert. A small population, about 5%, also lives in India's Gir Forest National Park. No matter how you choose to spend the day, make sure it is worthwhile by vowing to protect lions. Lions are natural predators that are necessary to keep prey populations in check. Apart from such environmental benefits, lions are extremely beautiful and majestic animals that have ruled the pop culture scene for a long time. So let's take a vow to be their fur. Whether you are looking to buy a new bag or coat or any other similar paraphernalia, make sure you know where it is coming from. Refuse to buy any meat products or land products or other animal skin products to reduce sales and market value. Time and money are most valuable assets you can give in today's world. Look out for nations and national and international organizations that protect wildcats and invest in them by donating your money to the cause. If you cannot donate, you can volunteer your time by either helping the organizations with volunteer work or by promoting the organizations in your circles. Young lion club, young lion cubs are born with spots on their coats, but these tend to fade away as they grow older. A lion's mane will change color, going from light to dark as it grows older. Lion cubs are generally brought up together by all females in a pride. Lionesses are better hunters than their male counterparts, and it is for this reason that they hunt 80 to 90% of the time. Lions will sleep for at least 20 hours a day. For most of us, The Lion King was a huge part of our childhood. For these generations, we rejoiced at the birth of Simba but also grieved with him over his father's death. Holding such sweet memories and images, we cannot let the beloved animal go extinct. Let's come together on August 10th to protect the lions from all dangers. Preservation has become a necessity more than now ever. We cannot hope to live on a peaceful and resourceful earth if we keep depleting of its natural resources, be it water, fuel, or animals. We must preserve it. The natural environment has given us countless gifts from food for taste and survival to medicinal properties to inspiration for technological innovations. Nature has continued to reward us since time immemorial. So we must therefore honor, respect, and celebrate. Today is also commemorated as Vlogging Day, which is celebrated every year on August 10th. It is dedicated to vlogging and the people who make video blogs. Vlogging has become popular among people all around the world. It is a way for people to share information and entertainment on the internet. With consistently hard work and quality content, vloggers can build an audience and even gain fans. As important part of creating video blogs Vlogging Day serves to inspire more people to try vlogging as a way to express themselves, help others, and even build a lasting career. With more vlogging, we can create several healthy online communities that have no location barriers. Today is also commemorated as Update Your Bio Day on August 10th. Every year, people are encouraged to self reflect and assess their own accomplishments, skills, and experiences. Thus far, it's a way to reset your confidence by reminding yourself that you are good enough to achieve goals, whether as soon as the 21st century hit, resumes started going online. In fact, companies now use websites to gather a pool of candidates for potential employment. Others would simply temporarily upload their resume in their personal job hunting accounts and update them from time to time. Today is also commemorated the Day of Cantabria in Spain, celebrated yearly on the second Sunday in August. The historic community is located in northern Spain with a population of 5,80,229. It Today is also commemorated as National Spoil Your Dog Day. It might be sickness, but we are stupid in love with our dogs. On August 10th, encourages us to buy indestructible toy that we can be swearing up and down we never buy. Granted, dogs can be little needy, but during times when it seems nobody loves you, they always do. Dogs are hilarious and they don't hold it against you when we make them wear silly hats and sunglasses. Dogs happily slurp any food we drop on the floor. They only want a warm bed, belly rubs, and walks in the park. Today is also commemorated as National Lazy Day. In today's plugged in world, we often find ourselves wishing for a day when we didn't have to do anything, nothing at all, not even the tiniest bit of work. In other words, we long for a lazy day, and yet when we see inside a day to do nothing, we find it difficult to actually be lazy, as if we are hardwired to do something, even if we don't really need to do anything. So let's put a stop to that. August 10th is the day to do it or not to do it. It's National Lazy Day and it's glorious. So lazy day is the best day to celebrate your inner couch potato by just ignoring all your daily work routine and doing nothing the whole day long. Just lay back on your couch and do enjoy a well-deserved rest. The best part about laziness is that you are less likely to experience burnout. Being lazy allows the body to regenerate and restore its balance and energy. Burnout can lead to insomnia, depression, and chronic fatigue. Today is also commemorated as National Connecticut Day in US on August 10th, observed by people in the states and others who have fond love for it. The name Connecticut came from the Algonquin word Quenhuk, which means land of the long tidal river. Connecticut is known to be the fifth state to become part of United States of America. The most populated city in Connecticut is Bridgeport, even though it is not the capital. The capital city is actually Hartford. Today is also commemorated as Melon Day in Turkmenistan on the second Sunday in August. This year took place on August 10th. We celebrate cantaloupes, gallias, and other muskmelons, especially those belong to the people of Turkmenistan. You may have confused watermelons for melons at least once in your life. However, these two fruits are very different even though they stem from the same family. Melons, particularly muskmelons, have an important agricultural heritage and are the pride of the people of Turkmenistan. And country located in Central Asia, today they honor not only their well-groomed It is also commemorated as International Biodiesel Day on August 10th to commemorate the discovery of the diesel engine by Rudolf Diesel in 1890. He designed the engine to work both petroleum fuel and vegetable oil, opening the possibility for organic oils, which were renewable and viable fuel sources in the near future. Biofuel is a type of human manufactured from vegetables. So International Biodiesel Day takes place on August 10th to commemorate the discovery of the diesel engine. Biofuel. He designed the engine to work on both petroleum fuel and vegetable oil, opening the possibility for organic oils, which are renewable and viable fuel sources in the near future. Biofuel is a type of fuel manufactured from vegetable oils and can work with causing as much as air pollution to fossil fuels. So this day aims to raise awareness about the importance of non-fossil fuels as an alternative source to fuel vehicles and machines, just as Mr. Diesel predicted. Today is also commemorated as Eka People's Day in Australia. The official name of the Royal National Agricultural RNA Show Day takes place during second and third week of August and takes place on August 10th this year. Eka People's Day usually falls on the sixth day of the Royal Queensland Show, which lasts for about 10 days. This Brisbane only festival is the largest and most popular annual feat of Queensland's calendar. So the day is also a public holiday providing time off for all Brisbane residents. Today is also commemorated as Ecuador Independence Day in Ecuador, which is celebrated every year on August 10th. In Spanish, it is known as Dia de Prima, Grito de Independencia de Ecuador, Day of the Independence. Speaking of the World Breastfeeding Week, the United Nations today stressed that although breastfeeding has cognitive and health benefits for infants and mothers, investment shortcomings impede the practice. He added that breast milk works like a baby's first vaccine, protecting infants and potentially deadly diseases and giving them all the nourishment they need to survive and thrive. The Global Breastfeeding Scorecard, a new report by the UN Children's Fund, UNICEF, and World Health Organization in collaboration with the Global Breastfeeding Collective, An initiative launched today that aims to increase global breastfeeding arena points out that breastfeeding not only helps prevent diarrhea and pneumonia, two major causes of death in infants, also helps reduce mothers' risk of ovarian cancer and breast cancer, two leading causes of death among women. Yet, among the scorecard, which evaluated 194 nations, reveals that no country in the world fully meets recommended breastfeeding standards. It found that only 40% of the children younger than 6 months are given nothing but breast milk. And only 23 countries have exclusive breastfeeding rate, about 60%. Coming to paid maternity leave, number of weeks in UK is 39, India 29, 26, Turkey 16, Mexico 12, US is 0. So the scorecard was released at the start of the UN Breastfeeding Week alongside a new analysis nurturing the health and wealth of the nations, the investment care for breastfeeding, demonstrating that all investment of dollars 4.70 per newborn is required to increase the global rate of exclusive breastfeeding among children under the 6 months to 50% by 2025. The analysis suggests that meeting that target could save the lives of $20,000 children under the age of 5 potentially generate $300 billion in economic gains over 10 years as a result of reduced illness and healthcare costs and increased productivity. So breastfeeding is one of the most effective and cost-effective investments nations can make in the health of their youngest members and future health of their economies and societies, said UNICEF Executive Director Anthony Lake. By failing to invest in breastfeeding, we are failing mothers and their babies and paying a double price in lost lives in the lost opportunity. The investment case shows that in 5 of world's largest emerging economies, namely China, India, Indonesia, Mexico, and Nigeria, the lack of investment in breastfeeding has resulted in an estimated 236,000 child deaths per year and $119 billion in economic losses. Globally, investment in breastfeeding is far too low. Each year, governments the global investment in breastfeeding is far too low. Each year, governments in lower and middle income countries spend approximately $250 million on breastfeeding promotion. Donors provide only an additional $85 million. Co-led by UNICEF and World Health Organizations, the Global Breastfeeding Collective is calling on countries to increase funding to raise breastfeeding rates from birth through 2 years of age, enact paid family leave, and workplace breastfeeding policies. Building on the UN International Labour Organization's maternity protection guidelines as a minimum requirement. access to skilled breastfeeding counseling as part of the comprehensive breastfeeding policies and programs in health facilities, and strengthen links between health facilities and communities, and encourage community networks that protect, promote, and support breastfeeding. Both UN agencies emphasize that breastfeeding is critical to achieve many of the Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs), asserting that it improves nutrition. SDG 2 prevents child mortality and decreases the risk of non communicable diseases. SDG 3 and supports cognitive development and education. SDG 4, breastfeeding is also an enabler to ending poverty, promoting economic growth, and reducing inequality. Breastfeeding is also a key to sustainable development, as breastfeeding is a natural and low cost way of feeding babies and children. It is affordable for everyone and does not burden household budgets. Compared to artificial feeding, breastfeeding contributes to poverty reduction. Exclusive breastfeeding and continued breastfeeding for 2 years and beyond provide high quality nutrients and adequate energy and can help prevent hunger, undernutrition, and obesity. So, breastfeeding also means food security for infants. Breastfeeding significantly improves the health, development, and survival of the infant and children. It also contribute to improved health and well-being of mothers both in short and long term. Breastfeeding and adequate complementary feeding are fundamentals for readiness to learn. Breastfeeding and good quality complementary food significantly contribute to mental and cognitive development and thus promote learning. Breastfeeding is a great equalizer, giving every child a fair and best start. In life, breastfeeding is uniquely a right of women, and they should be supported by society to breastfeed optimal. The breastfeeding experience can be satisfying and empowering for the mother as she is in control of how she feeds her baby. Breastfeeding on demand provides all the water a baby needs, even in the hot weather. On the other hand, formula feeding require access to clean water, hygiene, and sanitation. Breastfeeding entails less energy when compared to formula production industries. It also reduces the need for water, firewood, and fossil fuels in the home. Breastfeeding women who are supported by their employees are more productive and loyal. Maternity protection and other workplace policies can enable women to combine breastfeeding and their other work or employment. Decent jobs should cater, cater to the needs of the breastfeeding women, especially those in precarious situations. With the industrialization and urbanization, the time and space challenges become more prominent. Breastfeeding mothers who work outside the home need to manage these challenges and be supported by employers, their own families, and communities. Crutches near families and communities. Near the workplace, lactation rooms and breastfeeding breaks can make a big difference. Breastfeeding practices differ across the globe. Breastfeeding needs to be protected, promoted, and supported among all, but in particular among poor and vulnerable groups. This will help reduce inequalities. In the battle of, in the bustle of big cities, breastfeeding mothers and their babies need to feel safe and welcome in all public spaces. When disaster and humanitarian crisis strike, women and children are affected disproportionately. Pregnant and lactating women need particular support during such times. Breastfeeding provides a healthy, visible, non-polluting, and non-resource intensive, sustainable, and natural source of nutrition and sustenance. Breastfeeding safeguards infant health and nutrition in the times of adversity and weather-related disasters due to global warming. Breastfeeding entails less waste compared to formula feeding. Industrial formula production and distribution lead to waste that pollutes the sea and affects marine life. Breastfeeding is ecological compared to formula feeding. Formula production implies dairy farming that often puts pressure on natural resources and contributes to carbon emissions and climate change. Breastfeeding is enshrined in many human rights framework and conventions, national legislation, and policies to protect and support breastfeeding. Mothers and babies are needed to ensure that their rights are upheld. The strong and the global strategy for the infant and young child feeding fosters multi-sectorial collaboration and can build upon various partnerships for the support of development through breastfeeding program and initiatives. So here we'll take a break, and if you have any queries, you are welcome. To share or ask. Okay. If there are no queries, then we'll move ahead. Today we will look at the Global Breastfeeding Collective, a joint initiative by UNICEF and World Health Organization. Because no one breastfeeds alone. The Global Breastfeeding Collective is a partnership of prominent international agencies calling on donors, policymakers, philanthropists, and civil society to increase investment in breastfeeding worldwide. The collective's vision is of a world where all mothers have the financial, emotional, technical, and public support they need to start breastfeeding. Within an hour of the child's birth, breastfeed exclusively for 6 months, and continue breastfeeding with adequate age-appropriate and safety complementary foods for 2 years or beyond. The collective advocates for smart investments in breastfeeding, helps policymakers and non-governmental organizations implement solutions, and galvanizes public support to get the real results in increased rates of breastfeeding for children, families, and nations. So the vision of Global Breastfeeding Collective is a world where all mothers and families are empowered, enabled, and supported to optimally breastfeed their children, and where early initiation, exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life and continued breastfeeding for up to 2 years or beyond, together with appropriate, adequate, and safe complementary foods, become the social norm that helps child survive and develop to their fullest potential. The mission of Global Breastfeeding Collective is to galvanize political, financial, and social support to scale up breastfeeding programs and to encourage adoption of supportive legal instruments and policies at the global, regional, and country levels within the broader development, humanitarian, and human rights agendas that accelerate progress to meet or exceed the World Health, the WHO global target calling for an increase in the rate of exclusive breastfeeding to at least 50% by 2025. Strategic goals include the Breastfeeding Collective has 4 strategic goals: foster leadership and alliance to galvanize support to breastfeeding, effectively integrate and communicate breastfeeding messages to reach strategic audiences, mobilize resources and promote accountability, build knowledge and evidence to enhance breastfeeding policies, programs, financing, and communication. Governments play a fundamental role in protecting the health of women and children through improving breastfeeding, through improving policies and programs that support and enhance breastfeeding. The Global Breastfeeding Collective, or in short known as the Collective, led by the World Health Organization and UNICEF, has identified 7 policy action priorities, each with an indicator, and set the target to be achieved by 2030. The Global Breastfeeding Collective has developed a country scorecard to track progress on 7 policy actions on breastfeeding practices within countries. It examines the indicators at the national and global levels. The scorecard is designed to encourage and document progress on the promotion, protection, and support of breastfeeding. Each action has a progress indicator and target to be met by 2030, which serve as a call for action for policymakers worldwide to make breastfeeding support a collective nation's priority. The Global Breastfeeding Scorecard was first introduced by the collective in 2017 and has been updated annually ever since. Breastfeeding is a smart investment, which is a vital part of providing every child with the healthiest start in life. If it is a baby's first vaccine and best source of nutrition, can bolster brain development. Breastfeeding also nurtures national economies. Increased rates of breastfeeding can improve a country's prosperity by lowering healthcare costs and producing stronger, more able workforces. But breastfeeding is not just one woman's job. It requires encouragement and support from skilled counselors, family members, healthcare providers, employers, policymakers, and others. By investing US dollars 570 million a year for the next 10 years, governments, donors, and partners can help raise the rate of exclusive breastfeeding to at least 50%. So, improved rates of breastfeeding leads to improved health and development for children, improved health for women, and improved cognitive development, learning, and education attainment, productivity, wages, and economy. That is, rise in GDP. A global breastfeeding call to action. The Global Breastfeeding Collective calls for increased financing and better implementation of policies, programs, and interventions to provide mothers the support they need to be breastfeed. Governments can take 7 actions to drive progress on breastfeeding and raise global rate of exclusive breastfeeding to at least 50% by 2025. Increase the funding to raise the rate of breastfeeding from birth to 2 years. Adopt and monitor the International Code of Marketing of Breast Milk Substitutes. Enact family leave and workplace breastfeeding policies. Implement the 10 steps of successful breastfeeding in maternity facilities. Improve access to skilled breastfeeding counseling in health facilities. Strengthen links between health facilities and communities to support breastfeeding. Monitor the progress of policies, programs, and funding for breastfeeding. As part of the breastfeeding promotion and making breast milk available. The Human Milk Banking Association of India, a human milk bank, is a center to collect, screen, test, and store donor's milk, that is breastfeeding mother's milk, collected from healthy lactating mothers. The primary objective of a human milk bank is to make sure that every baby receives human milk as early as possible, especially those who are born weak. In India, these centers are called Comprehensive Lactation Management Centers, in short known as CLMC. The Human Milk Banking Association of India are a national network of healthcare providers who work in the field of human milk banking and related areas, including child nutrition, infant feeding, maternal health, etc. in India. They work in collaboration with government and non-government organizations. The objective of the network is to develop scientific and evidence-based practices in the field of human milk banking. The association also organizes workshops and conferences to generate awareness about human milk banking among medical fraternity and the community. So breastfeeding is the best feeding. No child should be deprived of the benefits of human. Breastfeeding is the first immunization for a baby and it provides optimal nutrition. Breastfeeding is also beneficial for mothers as it improves bonding with the baby, helps reduce weight, reduces chances of breast cancer. For babies who are unable to receive mother's milk due to unavoidable reasons such as baby too weak to nurse or suckle, mother's illness, death, abandonment, or delay in milk production. In such cases, donor's milk can be life-saving. By helping mothers breastfeed, CLMCs make sure that mothers breastfeed their babies even after the discharge from hospital. Mothers only donate excess milk to the CLMC after feeding their own baby. So save a life, donate milk today. So as already discussed, a human milk bank is a center to collect, screen, test, and store donor milk collected from healthy lactating mothers. In India, these centers are called Comprehensive Lactation Management Centers, in short known as CLMCs. India has 57 CLMCs across different states. So the primary function of a CLMC is to make sure that every child receives breast milk. A CLMC performs three functions. It supports breastfeeding by helping new mothers breastfeed and resolve their lactation issues. It helps mothers to express milk for their own babies and to donate excess milk to the CLMC. It tests, stores, and pasteurizes collected milk and feeds it to vulnerable babies who do not have access to their mother's milk due to unavoidable reasons. Every CLMC follows a robust process to ensure that milk is treated and stored as per Government of India guidelines. That is National Guidelines for Lactation Management Centers for Public Health Facilities. The guidelines are based on the Comprehensive Lactation Management Center, CLMC model, which is a robust model. So if you want to start or train your staff on the process of CLMC, the national guidelines mandate that all staff must be trained. So you can write to Human Milk Bank Association of India for the support and training. The national guidelines recommend that all CLMCs develop a hazard analysis critical control points plan, HACCP. PATH has developed a HACCP training toolkit. For more information, you can reach out to them. So if you want to build a CLMC facility, then what do you require? You can refer to the national guidelines on lactation management centers in public health facilities. It provides an architectural plan as well as mandatory and desired equipment required in a CLMC. The Infant and Young Child Feeding and Human Milk Banking Guidelines 2015 provides the detailed guidelines about various aspects of human milk bank management, process, recruiting, and so on. So with this, we shall stop here and we will seek any queries, questions on these 10 days of World Breastfeeding Week celebrations. And if you have any questions or any suggestions, any feedback, you can use chat box to share. Or if you think any other topic needs to be covered, or if you want any other topic to be covered, you can just put in chat box so that we can take it up now, because today is the last day and we are going to conclude these celebrations. Of course, this whole month we'll be having one or other sessions in different form, but exclusively this 10 days is meant for World Breastfeeding Week celebrations. So feel free. If you need any topics, you can write to us or you can use chat box. And the participants who have registered for this entire program through the Google registration form, and those who are marking attendance daily by participating in Zoom platform and filling up daily registration form and feedback in Zoom, will be circulating a feedback form where you can provide your valuable feedback and also data required for the generation of e-certificates. Based on your attendance and participation, you will be issued e-certificates on day-to-day basis. So whichever day you are participating, you will be getting an e-certificate. If you have participated for all the days, you will be getting for each day for all the days. So with this, we shall end the World Breastfeeding Week commemorations. And in coming days also in this month, we will have an exclusive events coming up. So we invite you to join every day from 6 to 8 with the same joining link. We have different commemorations going on, celebrations. We request everyone to join and extend your support to other programs as well. So we request everyone to fill the feedback form, which has been raised in the form of polls before leaving the platform. We express our sincere gratitude and heartfelt gratitude to all the presenters, participants who have attended on these 10 days of World Breastfeeding Week celebrations and being part of these celebrations. And congratulate everyone for making it a grand success. Thank you once again. We'll see you all tomorrow at the same time with the same joining link with different commemorations. Take care. Good night.